We are on Sukkah, Perek Dalid, Mishnah Tet. Ninth Mishnah, the fourth chapter of Sukkah. Really, really interesting Mishnah, and I'm going to show you a really cool picture sort of towards the end. We're going to talk about the nisuch hamayim. There's a mitzvah we learned of halacha l'Moshe Sinai that part of the avodah, of the worship that was done in the Beit HaMikdash was called nisuch hamayim. It was the pouring of the water. So how would they do this? So the Mishnah, nisuch hamayim ketzad. Now actually I want to point out, it's really interesting that the Mishnah goes into such great detail for these customs, for these different attributes and aspects. And we're going to see in the future Mishnayot about Simchat Beit HaShoeva. It's really very fascinating that, you usually don't see this vivid description of what happened in the Beit HaMikdash in such vivid detail in the language of the Mishnah, there's so little text in the Mishnah. This is really interesting. Nisuch hamayim ketzad. So how would they do the nisuch hamayim? Slochit shel zahav mechazeket shlosha lugim haya memaleh min hashiloach. There was a slochit shel zahav, a golden flask that held 3 lug. Okay, each one, it's like 1.5 liters. Each lug is like a half a liter. They would fill from the shiloach. Higiu l'shar hamayim tak'u v'hiriu v'taka'u. When they got to shar hamayim, they would do tkiya, trua, and tkiya because they did everything. Because it says, it's rejoicing. The Bartanura says, ushaftem mayim bisason. Where is the shiloach? So this is a map from Google Maps of Yerushalayim. Okay, here's the old city. So if you've ever gone to Ir David, which you must do if you've never been there, okay? If you know, like, here's the Davidson Center. It's really interesting that Google, this is City of David. This is Ir David. So anybody who goes to Ir David knows that when you go to Yerushalayim, this old city of Yerushalayim is not the way Yerushalayim used to be. Yerushalayim used to be this way, from here to here. So they would go down the Shiloach. If you look here, the pool of the Silwan that they uncovered, the Shiloach is right here. So they would travel down from Har HaBayit, and this is even in Bayit Sheni. Remember, all of this stuff that was added by the Turks much later. So they would go down, they would travel down from the Har HaBayit, and walk down to the Shiloach, down here to the Mei Shiloach. So the Machon HaMikdash, first of all, they have this slochit. This is the golden flask, I guess that you want to call it. This is the golden thing that they made. And then they have this picture of the, let me see if I can find the picture. Here we go. They have this picture of nisuch hamayim. So it's a little blurry, but if you look at it, you can see in the distance, right, this is the Har HaBayit. The way they drew it, it's really interesting because all of this is from the Shiloach, and you see the people, they went down to the Shiloach with this golden thing, right? They would draw the water in the Mei Shiloach, and then they would carry it back up rejoicingly up to Har HaBayit. You can see Har HaBayit in the distance, right? The Beit HaMikdash is facing west. This is the Kotel HaMaravi that we know. Okay, so they would walk back up. So I just have to share with you because it's really, really fascinating and cool. I just recently took a tour of Ir David, like a private tour of Ir David, and they take you down in this private tour. They're going to open this eventually. But one of the things that they take you is into this tunnel that they dug. They located from the Shiloach. This is looking down from the Shiloach, like from the Beit HaMikdash towards the Shiloach. People talk about this, but you're not really supposed to publicize it. What can you do? This leads, the Shiloach is down here, and these are stones that are from the time of the Beit HaMikdash, that were literally under dirt. Like you get to the end, they're still uncovering dirt, and these stones was the road that they walked up from the Shiloach toward the Beit HaMikdash. I just got chills. It's really, 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 really interesting and really, really cool. Okay, where am I back to? Here. So they draw the water. They would walk up, literally up this road that I have a picture of that I took of like a month ago. Unbelievable. And that's being uncovered as we speak from the Shiloach. And the whole procession of the Simchat Beit HaShoeva would come up this way, on its way towards, where are we? Here, towards the Beit HaMikdash in the distance. And you see Tokin, Tki'at, Shu'at, Tki'at. They would do the Tki'ot and Shu'ot. There was musical accompaniment, just really beautiful. Let's go back to the Mishnah. Okay? Higiu l'shar hamayim. Again, Tak'u v'hiriu v'tak'u. They got to shar hamayim. They would do the Tki'ot and Shu'ot. Okay, where's the shar hamayim? Let's go to our handy dandy schematic of the Beit HaMikdash. Shar hamayim is here. I'll make it bigger. This is the shar hamayim. So they came in from this side. They're coming in. Remember, they're coming up exactly this way. Remember, we said the Beit HaMikdash is facing this way. This is the Kotel HaMaravi. They're coming up from, I can't make it any smaller, but they're coming up this way. This is exactly how they're coming. From the Shiloach. from the Shar Hamayim. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. Did I have it the right way? I always get my directions messed up. Okay, and then they're coming in from the Shar Hamayim. Here, I'm going up the ramp, because they're going to do the nisuch hamayim up the ramp. They're doing the nisuch hamayim right over here, as we'll see in 1 second. Let's go back to our Mishnah. Okay. Alu bakeves, they went up the ramp. Upanali smolo, and the Kohen Gadol, or the Kohen, turned to his left. Shnei svalim shel kesef hayusham. There were 2 bowls made of silver there. Rabbi Yehuda says shel sidayu. They were made of limestone. Ela shayu mishucharin pneihem mipnei hayayin. Because they poured on them, the wine got poured on them, so they got blackened. So that's why people thought they were silver. Now let's look at the Machon HaMikdash. Machon HaMikdash, they have this picture, make it a little bigger, of these sluchit. And let's look at it even a little bigger if I can. Okay, you'll see the way they designed it. It has these legs, but then it has this little sort of protrusion on it. And you'll see in a minute why it has that protrusion on it. Let's go back to the Mishnah. Okay? So they had these 2 bowls. And what they would do is, umenukavim kimin shnei chatamim dakim, and they had 2 holes in them, like shnei chatamim, like 2 small nostrils. Echad meubeh, be'echad dak. One was thick and one was thin. Kedei shiyu shneim kalim bebat echad, so that the 2 would empty at the same time. Ma'aravi shel mayim, mizrachi shel yayin. The western bowl was water, and the eastern bowl was yayin, was wine. Let's go back to our picture of the Beit HaMikdash. Okay? So this is the Kotel HaMaravi. So the Ma'aravi was mayim, and this is yayin. What they would do is they had these 2 bowls, and the 2 bowls were over 2 holes. And of course, every day they did what was called nisuch hayayin. Yayin means the pouring of the wine. That was part of the regular avodah, the libations in the Beit HaMikdash. They would pour them on the Mizbeach. But on Sukkot, every day of Sukkot, they also did what was called nisuch hamayim, the pouring of the water. Okay, so let's look at now a picture from the Machon HaMikdash of this event. Okay, you can see here are the aravot on the Mizbeach, and there were these 2 bowls. One was yayin, okay, and one was mayim. The western one, the one closer to the Ma'aravi, that was nisuch hamayim. They pour the water. You see the guy pouring the water from the golden thing. And the other Kohen was doing what was called nisuch hayayin, the pouring of the wine. Okay, and the point was the wine was thicker than the water, and they wanted these 2 pourings that didn't stay in these bowls. Remember, we saw before it had a hole in it. Okay, and the hole, so these vessels, these bowls, emptied out. Where do they empty out? You could see in the schematic of the Mizbeach, there was a hole in it, and it drew down into like the tahom, like the water just dripped down, and the wine went through into like, the recesses of the Mikdash, and that was part of the avodah. So that's what the Mishnah says. Okay, there were 2 holes. One was thicker. The wine was thicker than the water. So that when the Kohanim poured at the same time, we wanted them to empty out at the same time. The wine was thicker, so it needed a little bit of a bigger hole so that it would go through a little bit thicker. It was like syrupy, I guess their wine was. And the water went straight, so it had a smaller hole. And as we said, the western one was of the water, Mizrachi shel yayin. Mishnah says, let's move it down. Eira shel mayim l'toch shel yayin, v'shel yayin l'toch shel mayim. What if they got confused and the Kohen poured the wine one in the water or the other way around? Yatsa, you're Yotze. Rabbi Yehuda has a different opinion about a couple of details. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, belog haya menaseh kol shmona. First of all, it wasn't 3 log, it was 1 log. And moreover, it wasn't just the 7 days, it was kol shmona. It was all 8 days, even Shemini Atzeret, but they don't pass them like him. V'lamanasech omrim lo, to the guy pouring the water, they said, hagbei yadcha, lift up your hand. Why? Shepam achat niseach echad al gabei raglav. One time the Kohen poured it on his feet. Urugamu kol ha'am betrogehem. Everyone was watching, they stoned him with their etrogim. What in the world is going on? Okay, so this actually harkens back. Remember we talked about the difficulties in the time of the Mishnah, which you didn't know who was a tzeduki or not. So the Mishnah says, what happened? Hold up your hand. We want to see that you're pouring the wine in the bowl. The fishat tzdokim einam modim b'nisuch hayam. The tzdokim didn't agree that there was an even halacha because they didn't hold up this halacha al Moshe Misinai. So the guy, the Kohen, tzdoki echad, sechet hamayim al raglav. He poured the water on his feet. So they said to him, hold up your hand. We want to see what you're doing. Like, now you see in the picture, they show him like holding it up like this guy is pouring very clearly. This guy's pouring the water in the bowl. Everyone wants to see it. Because if they don't see it, they're going to stone him with their etrogim because they want to make sure he's not a closet tzeduki who's imposing his will on the Beit HaMikdash and saying, I don't hold this nechama. It's a bunch of hogwash. The Mishnah says one time that happened, and the nisuch hamayim, the guy poured it on his own feet instead of pouring it in the bowl, in order not to be Yotzei, in order to keep the halacha according to his opinion, and they all threw their etrogim at him. Can you imagine? Like, it's hard to imagine, like in the time of the Beit HaMikdash. I guess we deal with it today, trying to make sure that people who are in charge of upholding the halacha do it in the proper manner. All right, we learned a lot today. We saw the nisuch hamayim, we saw this, we saw the procession, we saw this procession from the Beit HaMikdash. Let me see if I can find this, right? From Machon HaMikdash. And then we saw this incredible uncovered road. Contact your Rebbe and tell me, you've got to see this road. They're going to open it pretty soon. Have a great day. We'll dedicate our learning to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman.